All right, we're over here at Rolling Operations Headquarters on this cold, windy day. And by cold, I mean like 60, but with the wind, it does feel a little bit chillier. So I've gotten this request from a lot of you guys, and I don't know why, but a lot of you really want to see how I clean my equipment. What's funny about this rental machine of mine is this excavator is actually a cabbed machine. Take a look. We've got heat, we've got air, but somehow it always comes back dirty. That's obviously because when people are working, they're usually with somebody else and they pop open the, glass and they're yelling at people, telling them what to do. So, of course, it's dry here. It's harvest season, if any of you guys live in farm towns. So there is literally dust everywhere. It's not like I can be mad about it, but this is that time of year where you always have a stuffy nose. You always got that phlegm in the back of your throat. It just comes from being in a small town. At the end of the day, though, this machine isn't that dirty. Take a look at it. So this machine was out for actually 3 days. The guy got quite a bit of work done, but it was in a yard. It wasn't in a creek. Well, actually, he did have to cross a creek, but it's all dried up. So we're literally working with just little bits of stuff that are coming in and out of the tracks. Sometimes, I will be honest, guys, these things come in caked in mud, especially if we've had a fresh rain, or if somebody's, working on the bottoms. When by the bottoms, I mean like the bottom roads, closer to a riverbank, if any of you guys are familiar with that kind of thing. A lot of you guys are gonna have a lot of opinions on this, and feel free to chime in the comments what they are. But the deal is, I'm gonna clean this and show you what I'll do. Keep in mind, I might not get this detailed on something that is that lightly dirty. But it is important to clean it, because here's the deal. If you take really good care of your equipment, people tend to, I'm not going to say always, but they tend to take care of your equipment for you. The reason I say that is because all the time I will drop off a piece of equipment for somebody, or somebody will come pick it up, and they always say the same thing. Dang, this thing is way too clean to be a rental. And that's what I want to hear. I want to hear those things because I want people to be scared to ruin it. The nice thing about keeping a clean machine and renting out a clean machine is I know when it goes out how dirty it was or what it looked like. I can see what damages were already there, and it's fresh in my mind. When it comes back all dirty and I rent it out all dirty, it's going to be harder to tell what happened with which rental. A lot of you are going to say that, hey, you're wasting a whole lot of time doing this. Like, just send it back out. In some cases, I might do that. It literally just might get a quick dusting in the cab, and then I'll send it back out, especially in this case where it's literally just a little bit of dry dirt. But often, I do give it a pretty good clean, so when people get it or it shows up on site, they are, they're more cautious. I actually have people say, wow, I'm nervous to get this thing dirty. And that's what I want. A lot of you are going to start out right away and say, you're in the wrong business if you want somebody to rent your equipment and not get it dirty. That's not what I'm saying. I don't care if people get my equipment dirty. I don't care if people scratch my equipment. It's a psychological aspect of having the business. If you take good care of your equipment and it looks presentable all the time, it's less likely people destroy it. Keep in mind, there are those few people who just don't care, and they are like, it's just a rental. So they do whatever they want. But we're focused on the mass majority of people who are going to take care of it. And that's why we clean it, we keep it clean, we keep it maintained, and we'll go over a couple of those things, and then we ship it out customer to customer to customer, and hopefully we have a long-lasting piece of equipment. All right, let's get this off of here. There's that funky one again. Still works, that's all that matters. As long as she ships it, we're good. Ah! Last one. This one's always kind of stiff. Ah! All right, that one took 2 hands. I wish somebody would say that to me. Alright, let's get her off. Alright, gotta get it off the trailer. Can't clean it up there. I mean, I guess we could. This wouldn't be easy. Ooh, she's sounding slow. She's sounding slow. She needs plugged in. Let's go. This part always makes people nervous who haven't seen it done before. Whee! Go over the edge and back around. Oh my gosh, we didn't flip off! That's what everybody says is gonna happen. We're fine. All right, we start by getting her nice and close to the shop. That way we can get some of the material we need just to kind of do the interior. Then we'll spray her down. The cool thing about my shop is in here is actually a drain pit. If it wasn't for my F750 project here, which if you're not subscribed to the channel, don't know anything about it, you should go back and look and subscribe, of course. But this thing's awesome. Picking it up wasn't, and like I said before in one of the last videos, it went exactly the way you would have expected it to go. But anyway, if this wasn't in the way, sometimes when you have a really light one, we actually have this drain pit here, so we can actually wash the whole thing in here. It drains out to the street, and I don't have to really worry about much of a mess. But in this case, we're probably just gonna clean it outside, and then I'll wash off the drive afterwards. But I've got this makeshift cleaning stand here, which I'll grab a couple things that I tend to use when I clean it. Foaming spray, even just glass cleaner. This stuff is amazing. I use it on all surfaces. Another one, big go-to, Swiffer duster. All right, first thing we do is we rip out the liner, because obviously there's no point in leaving it in here, and it is gonna be dusty. I mean, this is just nothing sticking. See, look at that. We just get as much of that off by just shaking it in the wind. Classic, look at that. So there's two parts here. You got to be more careful with this part, because if you get a little too rammy with it, you'll just end up ripping the rubber, and nobody really wants to do that. All right, just like that. Yeah, just toss that out. Then we'll go ahead and we'll open her up all over. We'll grab the shop blower here, and we're just gonna blow as much of this out as we possibly can. Quickest way to just get a bunch of it out. We obviously just don't want to blow it all inside of it. We need it to escape. It kind of seems silly at first because you just know it's actually getting blown all over the place, but eventually it starts to find its way out. I pretty much leave this thing at the shop literally just to blow stuff out of the shop. All right, so in my shop I have rag towels and I have microfiber towels. Microfiber towels are only used for cleaning. Cleaning does not include your butt, hands, body, or anything. Machines only. Unless it's an emergency and you're out of TP. When you're cleaning a machine, the stick is a huge asset. And the fine details matter. I'm telling you guys. I know this seems real much because a lot of you guys, it's your own equipment. If it's dirty, you don't care because you know you're taking care of it well. Keep in mind, random people that I do not know are always using my equipment. So I take care of it quite a bit better than most would if it was just theirs. The other thing is, you'd be shocked how often people are like, it's pretty dirty, so do I get a discount for that? People will do anything to get a discount. Or complain. The last thing I want to get a bad review for is not my service, but his machine showed up dirty. He clearly brought it from one job site to another. How lazy is he? I can see it. I can literally see the review. So you got to kind of think of everything when you're a business owner. Anyway, back to Swiffering. That's the thing. I can't normally reach back in there. Hey, look. Twig. So I always use this to kind of get into the crevices. So why did I blow some of that stuff? Look at this. This literally falls down to the tracks. That's why you need to pull that rubber mat out first, because otherwise, I mean, you're just cleaning dirt that essentially can just fall down in here. But these little details, guys, I promise you makes a difference. Look at that, getting right in there. I'm telling you, anytime one of these rubber things actually looks clean, it's kind of like cleaning the door jamb of your car. A car can be cleaned on the outside, but then when you open the door, if the door jamb's dirty, you can tell a lot about the person who owned it. But these, I feel like, are the door jambs of the equipment rental industry. Just all the places I can't reach my hand. Just tuck these back in there. Give it a good Swiffer. Anywhere where you can clearly see dirt, the Swiffer tends to pick up a super large amount of it. And again, in a very dry, windy climate, this thing really comes in handy because it's going to pick up a lot of it before we even have to use any spray. All right, we're done Swiffering. Grab my favorite spray. All right, you got to be kind of careful with electronics, but I mean, they make these things pretty darn water resistant, but I love that. See, it just foams up nice and good right on the dirt. And then I grab this toothbrush because right there, all these little fibers are really hard to clean, and they continue to grab dirt and make it harder to let go. That was like another... So this thing's been bounced around quite a few times, maybe even off my truck once. So to get it running, we basically just have to be full throttle all the time. It is what it is. I guess while I'm sitting here, all right, so the dirt will kind of move around and settle, so then you just take a microfiber, that same one we used on the interior, and you just give her a good wipe down, gets rid of runs and streaks, and it really cleans it up, just like your car. Especially on these plastics, makes a huge difference here. Up here in front, that really cleans up nice, right on these edges. We are going above and beyond on this cleaning. I'm actually just kind of, this is more peaceful to me than anything. I'm going way above average on this. Remember that door jam I told you about in your car? Well, machines have them too. Huge difference it makes. It really does, guys. Go ahead and put this back. Let this kind of dry out in the sun for a minute. All right, let's put the interior back together. Get all that down. Sets right on these nuts and stuff right here. All right, it's always hard to get these mats perfect, but they come a long way when you pick them up from a machine that's been out in the mud. This definitely is an improvement anytime. There we go. Nice and firm. The only thing that's pretty much impossible to keep clean is the middle of the tracks, you know, the supporting section, because once you move it, all that dirt and water pours down in there. So you got to basically wait until it completely dries. Just take a rag, wipe it down once it's on the trailer so it shows up looking nice to the customer. But other than that, guys, this thing is insanely clean right now. Before I head home, I always take the rag that I used, toss it in. That way I can throw it in the washer and it's good. I can bring it back out and put it in our bucket. All right, when cleaning, I always double check coolant level. Usually I'll pull the dipstick, make sure there's like a water level in there too, make sure I don't need to drain any water out. We also have the hydraulic level. If you look in there, perfect. Before I go toss her on our advertising hill I have over here, only thing really left to do is grease it. If you have to do anything, always do it automatic. Get yourself an automatic grease gun. Makes a huge difference. Put that back on there again. So I'll start going around to every grease fitting I have on this machine, and if you don't know where it is, find the map for your machine. That way you make sure you get all of your grease points. Make sure that's seated on there. Perfect. There's a lot of them on these machines, guys. Don't neglect this part, or you'll find yourself doing way more maintenance than preventative maintenance. All right, guys, it's not showroom ready by any means, but she's way cleaner. Let's get her put back. Totally forgot to clean this windshield because I had it up at one point, but oh well, we sprayed it down. We could always use the windshield wipers to get her nice and clean. Here we go, back home she is. So weird they have two handles here. This one does not close the door, but this one does. People will literally call me about how to close the door on the machine when they rent it. So I've started trying to remind them myself. All right, glistening in the sunset. Let's hope somebody rents her soon. The funny thing about working out here in front of my shop, right off the highway, is that people stop by all the time. So while I was cleaning that, I had one person come by to ask to rent a dumpster. We scheduled that over my phone. Then I had another guy talk to me about renting the skidster. Apparently I have to go pick that up from one site that I have in town that I was working at. Not gonna be there for the next couple days, so he's gonna use it in the meantime. So pretty much need to go get that one cleaned up and fueled up so I can get it to him tomorrow. I'll probably do that early in the morning though. In the meantime, I'm gonna go get some family time in. Long day. Let's go home. Like I said, guys, that's a pretty in-depth cleaning. That's not what I do every time. I actually have a cleaning kit, kind of like I have a rescue kit in the back of my truck for if I have to rescue a piece of equipment or dumpster, snatch blocks, straps. I have a cleaning kit. It includes things like Lysol wipes, microfiber towels, and I mean just odds and ends, sprays and cleaners. Because at the end of the day, a lot of times I'm picking these up from job sites, hitting a fuel station, fueling up the machine, and I'm taking it to somebody else with a new contract because people want them quick. They don't want to take the time for me to clean it for a couple hours and bring it to them. Today I had some time, took care of it, gave it one of those well-needed deep cleans. But most of the time, it's probably half of that. And in the end, that probably would have only taken me 30, 45 minutes. Again, a lot of people stopped and took some of that time away, but gave me an opportunity to look the machine over really well, do some minor maintenance, because there is a maintenance schedule for those machines, and you should follow one if you have it, because it just prevents a lot of other issues down the line. oil changes, flushes, hydraulic things, take a look at your manual or find some good videos about it. But go ahead and roast me in the comments, or if you have really good cleaning tips, if you're like an auto detailing guy and not wanting to make it necessarily cleaner, that's pretty darn clean machine for a rental. But how to maybe do it faster and more efficient, I'd appreciate it, because time is money. But at the same time, like I said, the reason I do that is for the psychological factor of trying to keep it clean and have people take better care of it. If I always just rented a dirty, nasty machine, it would just continue to come back dirtier and nastier, and it'd be harder for people to accept the fact that maybe they caused a little bit of damage to the machine. So again, some of you guys are gonna ream me, but it's okay. This is how I take care of my equipment, and I've been doing it now for about 2 years, and it works well. So I hope to catch you guys in the next video. I know this was just kind of a minor thing that I do, but it's just another kind of day in the life. If you want to see other content, I highly suggest you subscribe to the channel now and go back and look at some of the cool things we have done. There's some wild stuff. There's some minor stuff. But in the end of the day, all we're doing is documenting the experience and the business and everything I've done so far. Hope to catch you guys in the next one. See you next time.